Hello, one and all. It's Wednesday here in southeastern Michigan, and it is warm, warm. Well, first of all, I am Patrick, your host. 8 questions with have Cheetah will view. Hopefully, the Cheetah will make an appearance today. I thought he might yesterday, but he did not. So we'll see what he does today. Um, so tonight we'll be talking to one of our favorite people in the tube. We'll be talking to Fluff from all that fluff and stuff YouTube channel. Some of you know her as Fluff, like I do. Some of you know her as Fluffy. We all know her as being from the Whitsundays and being one of the most creative tubers that we all know. Fluff can do just about anything. She fishes. She goes to activities outside with her partner Dan. She's not afraid of anything. She knows how to cook. She's given us several tutorials on how to cook on a very cute kitchen. Um, she does a lot, she has her own channel, a lot of live streams, a lot of support to the community, which is really, really sweet. She does a series called That's My Mate. And then she props up everybody and gives them love and shout outs. And yeah. Uh, and she also is known as the woohoo, because whenever something goes right, that's what we get. Now, we're going to be talking to Fluff about fishing too today because, uh, hey, Sheena's. Hey, Monkey. I hate that name. You got to give me another name to call you. Hey, Eerie Frog. Hey, Katie. Hey, Hobbs. That's right. Oh, we all can say good day today. That's right. As you know, some of you may know, all of you probably know that Fluff hails from the beautiful land of Australia, and she lives on the Whitsundays, which is a huge chain of islands in Australia, and there's a lot of them. I didn't know what the Whitsundays were until I met Fluff, and then I went over there to take a look at it to see. She says greetings from the Whitsundays, so I thought was that she's just living on one big island, but no, there's actually several dozen Whitsundays. So only a few of them are inhabited though. So we will talk to Fluff about that. I'm not sure if she 100% if she's on an island or she lives off the islands. I do know that they go boating quite a bit. They even had an accident that they caught on camera. Their boat got swamped. It got flipped. So yeah, uh, probably the last place I really want my boat to flip over or have an accident or spring a leak would probably be off the coast of Australia. Um, because that's where we first got our first crack. And think about it. Two of our greatest fears have come from Australia: the great white shark, and of course crocodiles. You know, Australia is a beautiful country. They have some very warm and kind people. Um, Everybody I've ever met or talked to from Australia has been outstanding, and I've really enjoyed talking to them and hearing their point of view about things. So, um, with Fluff, it's going to be a lot of fun. We also have upcoming shows we're going to talk about. First of all, tomorrow we have a double header, a true double header. I mean, a true double, not a day night, but a true double header. Um, I'm interviewing Max, actress and writer, author, music producer Max Wassa will be here with us tomorrow at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. tomorrow. Um, and we'll be talking to Max. And then as soon as we're done with that, we will stop, turn around, and get ready for Tristan Risk. Tristan Risk will be here at 9 p.m. and it'll be the first person I've talked to from New Zealand. This will be our first time talking from New Zealand. So I'm pretty excited about that. Not the last one, that's for sure, but definitely, um, yeah, I'm excited. Tristan Risk, as some of you may know, she's done it all. This will probably be one of the most multi-talented artists I've talked to. She has done so many things and done them all well. So actually, her and Max both tomorrow night. I mean, talk about powerful women. Both of these are women are just stone cold powerful, creative, just amazing. And of course, we got Kellie. So, here you go. That's what we're all about here at Eight Questions With, talking to the most interesting, fascinating people. Uh, Now, tomorrow night, I know some of you guys will hang around for the Tristan Risk interview, and thank you for that. Just let you know that the Midnight Hour also will be on tomorrow night on over on Hobbs Horse channel. I don't know what's going on over there, but I can rest assure you that it will be fun. Whatever the crew decides to talk about, it will be fun. It'll be engaging, and it'll be about 10:15 over at Hobbs Horse channel tomorrow night, the Midnight Hour. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. Um, let's see. Next Sunday we have another doubleheader. Oh, yours or Katie's? Okay. Well, let me know. Let me know by tomorrow, and I'll announce that for sure and share it out. This Sunday we have another doubleheader. I do anyway, being the cheetah. First of all, we're making a trip over to Kentucky to visit our good friend David from David's Horrors. He is hosting the ISC Midnights on Sunday at 6 p.m. We will be covering The Wretched. The Wretched. At 6 p.m. The IFC show will be on, and we'll be covering The Wretched. The Wretched is actually quite excellent. It came out about a year and a half ago, and was actually a #1 box office during the pandemic when it came out. It actually carried the box office. So I'm super excited about that. We then have after that, we then come back at 8 o'clock for John Wick Chapter 2. Our look at John Wick Chapter 2 is going to happen this Sunday. I'll be joined once again by our special co-host Betty from Betty Gathers will be here with us, and we're going to be chopping it up about John Wick 2. We both were talking off camera about the first movie, and we were both just so blown away by it, how just creative it was. It's not your just usual shoot 'em up. It's a lot more to John Wick than just that. And so we're looking forward to Chapter 2. We know that they're going to advance the story. We're hoping that it's just as good as the first one. From everything I've heard, it is. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch and talk about that. And then on October 2nd, we should be joined by the Bat. The Bat should be back on October 2nd, and we'll also be joined by Anthony, Fever Dreamland Theater from the Cinema Squad. He's going to also join us for part 3. So we're going to have a full panel for part 3. And hopefully by tomorrow, I will let you know what's going on the Midnight Society on October 9th. I have some October 23rd, or I'm sorry, October, let's see, October 9th. That'll be me and John. John Grandy will be here from Grandy's Graveyard. And then October 16th, I'm working on that right now. Should have an announcement hopefully tomorrow. It should be a corker. Let's see. Let me catch up over here. Cal's got to run. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for just come back when you can, Cal, if you can. Yeah, Fluff should be here in about 6 minutes. No, he has somewhere else to go. Hobbs has already seen The Wretched, and he has already given us thumbs up about it being awesome. Let's see. Hey, bud. Heavy is the crown that wears heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's true. That's true. Let's see. Welcome, buds. How are you? Glad you're here. Erie, glad to see you're here. That's gonna be a lot of fun, for sure. So we do got some things going on in October, as far as this goes. We do have some dates booked. Need to get a few more in there before I start announcing who we have and what we're doing. Um, yeah. So nah, you didn't miss it. Let's see, what did you see? How let's see. Dunkaroos. Well, we're gonna ask about a lot of Australian food. They do things different for sure. Um, Thank you so much, Sheena. If you're still here, I appreciate it. Those who can share us out, that'll be awesome. Hey, Pete. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. I know we'll see Heather here in a minute, I'm sure. Let's see. Okay. The crown wearer. Oh, okay. I guess if you're wearing a crown, I don't know too many. I don't know too many people that wear crowns. That's for sure. Uh, Besides Hobbs, he's known as the Pumpkin King. Hopefully, everybody had a good day today. Yeah, boy, why am I having a hard time finding out saying anything? So we had thunderstorms that rolled through last night. Massive storms kept us up too. Most of the time, thunderstorms are actually pretty relaxing. You fall asleep, but not when they park over you and crack thunder like right above your house for a couple hours at a time. That was not fun. I will say that. Hey, Laurie, how are you? Glad you are here. Our Fluff will be here momentarily. So I hope you guys all come and have questions. You guys are gonna have a lot of questions for Fluff because I know everybody's gonna have questions for her. So I'm really hoping that we'll get a lot of questions going. Like, hey, how do you do that? And how do you say that? Um, I am doing okay, Lori. I got to tell you how strange that is for me. I just got to tell you, it's it's a little strange, but I'm glad you're here, Lori. I think that's common though. It happens a lot. Um, I got to ask you guys something real quick before Fluff gets here. So last night, while I was, thunderstorms were cracking over my head. So our good friend Mr. Bones, he did a late night. Um, you have my wife's name. Her name was Lori too, and she spelled it the same way. Is your middle name Ann? A lot of Lori are Lori Ann. So I'm just curious. Is your middle name Ann? No, 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 not a problem. Not a problem. Uh oh, okay. Oh, okay. I missed that. I missed that. Catherine. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Um, so I have a question for all you guys in the chat, Lori, Monkey, Hobbs, Pete. Um, Mr. Bones had a show last night, and on in the show, it's really strange because I don't really, I was listening to it, and all of a sudden I heard my name being talked about, and it was cool because it was all good, it was all positive, but I've never really heard anybody do that before. Like, I'm not there. As far as they know, that I'm not there. I was just ghosting. I was trying to get to sleep, and I overheard my name, and it was just so cool to hear it. It's like people were talking about you, talking about me, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. And I'm wondering if that ever happened to you, where you've walked inside of a live stream without anybody knowing that you were there, and heard people were commenting about you in a positive way. I think it's really neat. I thought that was really fun. Hey, Andre, how are you, sir? That's a weird question to ask, but I wanted to know how if that's ever happened to you. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He had to go. He had that go. Yeah, he definitely had the theme song of the midnight hour going. Yeah, I don't know how he did that. I don't know how, but it was cool as hell, wasn't it? I know that StreamYard has some generic music, background music. I've never heard anybody upload their original music on before, so that was really cool. Okay, I don't know where Fluff is, but she'll be here. Yeah, that was strange. Oh, here she is. Okay, everybody, put your hands together for our good friend Fluff. Fluff,
G'day.
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 Where are you talking to us from?
My backyard.
Oh, no, you're supposed to say the Whitsundays.
In the Whitsundays.
Yes, I love
G'day.
it. G'day. Everybody saying good day. Good day.
Hey,
Hey,
Patrick.
Fluff. Yep. Can you see the
I
chat
have
okay?
no,
Uh,
unless I change to a different screen. Hang on. But while I'm doing this, if I cut out, I'm sorry, but I cannot drive these things for the life of me. Did we cut out?
no, you're still with us.
Okay.
Love the hat. Love the hat.
Well, I dressed up for you, Patrick.
I see that. I see that. Now, are we gonna get? Are we gonna have Dan come in and hang out with us too?
He's at
No.
work. He's
Oh,
at he's at work. It's 10:00, 10:03 in the morning here. It's Thursday.
I know how that's so. It's so weird to me. Uh, uh, about that, because I'm actually gonna be talking to someone tomorrow from New Zealand, and like I type in what time is it in New Zealand, and they're like a day and a half ahead of us. It's just like, oh, and you're it's isn't it? It's 10 in the morning where you're at tomorrow.
Yep. So New Zealand wouldn't be a day and a half ahead. They would, because they're only probably 3 hours ahead of Australia.
You know what I want? I just want to know one thing. How is it that we can't ever like? How come we can't like work with you, right? Like I buy a lottery ticket here, right? Or you tell me the numbers of the lottery because you're next day. You tell me now. I'll go out there and I'll play the lottery and we win
Is
because
Nora?
I'm done because the drawing here is on Wednesday night. But since you're already there on Thursday morning, you already know the numbers. I can go get us a ticket.
Is Nora the stock explorer in the chat?
Nora is.
Nora.
Nora.
Welcome,
Yeah. No, yeah.
Nora. Okay, this is for Nora. Can you put me on the big screen, Patrick?
See if I can do that. Let's see.
Oh, it doesn't matter if you can't.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if it works. Ah,
It's fine. Leave it. It's
okay.
all good. This is for Nora. Nora, welcome to Thursday. You're going to love Thursday. Patrick, I cannot give you the lotto numbers, but I can tell you what your next day is going to be. And welcome to Thursday, everybody.
Oh, well,
Thursday,
that's awesome.
Thursday is a beautiful day. You're going to love Thursday.
Well, that'll be awesome. I can settle for a perfectly good day over a lottery win.
So you were going to get the exclusive. You were. I tried so I'm on holidays, everyone. It's our 3-week spring break. It is, and I've been gallivanting up and down the coastline. And I knew I had this interview, and I wanted to do something special. So we went out onto an island. And luckily I tested it because there was no reception. I would have been on that island still, and I wouldn't have been able to have this interview with you today. But I was going to try to bring you something spectacular. So I thought, you know what? Instead of sitting inside my house in front of a computer screen, how about I do my interview with my good mate in my beautiful garden? And
I love it.
here's one I prepared earlier for everyone.
Wow.
Where's the camera?
That's a beautiful. That's a flower.
It's a hibiscus.
Now, are they native to Australia?
I think they're native to everywhere, mate.
Yeah, I know we have them here, but I was wondering if that's where they came from.
Well, they do, because they are a tropical flower. So these would grow native in Hawaii, or your beautiful tropical islandy, paradisey, coconutty tree places, which this place is covered in. But yeah, these little bad boys grow wild. They do. That's a hibiscus from my garden.
Now, do you grow your own food as well? Oh.
I've got a salad bowl growing at the moment, Patrick.
Do you grow your own food?
I've got a salad bowl growing at the moment.
Oh, nice. What's in your bowl?
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look, shall we? Let's do that.
Rightio. Can everyone see my salad bowl?
Yep.
So in here, this is lettuce. And I've got probably 7 different types of lettuce, because we had a lettuce shortage in Australia, and Aussies were paying $12 for a head of iceberg lettuce.
$12 for a bag of iceberg lettuce.
A head, like your lettuce head, your heart, a heart. That's what it's called.
God.
So I've got 7 different types of lettuce growing, and some rocket. And these are Roma tomatoes here. Wow. Then I have cherry tomatoes here and here. And at the back, I've got a cucumber vine. Now, you'll see an old screen door just here. My cucumbers are starting to get those little vines on them. So soon I will train it up this repurposed old screen door.
What types of lettuce do you have? For your 7 lettuces, what types do you have?
So I got this one. This one. I'm not sure of the names. Okay, so I've got some cos. This is cos, and then this is just called, I think this one is just called frilly leaf. They're like a gourmet lettuce. And then I've got this type. I don't know. Sorry, mate. I'm sorry about that, mate.
No. I think it's great that you're growing it though. Now, now, is your biggest threat to your plants? Is your biggest threat just bugs?
Yeah and no.
Because we over here, everything's. I mean, try to plant a garden. It's you got raccoons, you got possums, you got mice, you got bugs, there's just a whole host of things trying to eat your garden. But your garden looks great. You know,
Yeah. My flowers are thriving. Here's another different little hibiscusy that I've been growing. Isn't that just sweet? I just plucked that from my garden 2 minutes ago.
that's beautiful.
So yeah,
Hobbs wants to know if that's Audrey too, from Little Shop of Horrors.
who?
You ever seen the movie called Little Shop of Horrors?
No.
It's about a huge plant, a plant that turns into a huge monster, a monster plant, and it's called Audrey.
Okay.
Those are pretty big. Now, do you wear them in your hat when you go out?
I usually wear them behind my ear, but guess what happened to me one day?
A bee attacked you. Yeah.
A little teeny tiny little bug
Uh-huh.
climbed into my ear, and Fluff thought she was going mad.
Oh no. Oh.
So the trick is if you're going to wear them behind your ear, which I usually always do, when you pick them, I meant, not pluck. You get them, give them a little shake, and because they're only teeny tiny. Oh, I just got pollen all over my nose then.
You're having you always have some sort of adventure, don't you?
Yeah, why not?
Is it really true that your original channel name was, instead of all that fluff and stuff, it was All That Fluff and Adventure?
Oh, could have been, mate. Should have been. No, it's life, Patrick. This is my life. I love my life, and I love my country. Do I portray my country beautifully, Patrick?
I love your country too. I really do. I think Australia is amazing.
It is.
It's actually the first country I would want to visit, and that's over Ireland. And that's where I'm from. But I'd rather go see Australia, Australia, and then New Zealand, than Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah. So they say that Canada is a lot like Australia, but I don't know. I don't know.
No, I don't think they have salties or pointers on the coast. I don't think. Yeah, that's what I said. Isn't that funny? We talk about Australia, and it's funny. It's like, that's how we got to know. That's how I was growing up in Australia. The first things I learned about Australia were World War II, Jaws, because the sharks off of Australia, and 3, saltwater crocodiles from Crocodile Dundee.
Of course, yep.
And then Foster's, of course, always Foster's.
I don't think anyone drinks Foster's beer anymore.
No, nobody drinks Foster's. Nobody ever drank Foster's when it was popular over here. I don't know any Australian that drank Foster's during that time.
Great Northern's taken over Australia. That's the beer that they drink up here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Great Northern. We still get a lot of 4X drinkers. Me, I'm a pale ale girl. Give me a Lashes any day.
Let me ask you a question. Now, do you actually live on an island, or on the mainland?
No. I live on the mainland. I do. So I'm on the east coast of Australia. So actually on the mainland. So the Whitsundays are a group of islands out east. So they're just off the mainland. They are.
Okay.
And they're a group of islands, but not included in those group of islands are hundreds of other islands just peppered up and down the east coast of Australia. It is absolutely beautiful. So if you look at, I think they refer to Rockhampton as the center of or the center coast of Queensland, because Queensland goes, I think it's got a coastline of 3,500 k's. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's probably, I don't even know. I can't convert k's to miles. Sorry, but it's long. Queensland is huge. So where the group of islands start is where the reef starts. It is, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's just beautiful when the tides go up. The tides don't go up and down; they actually go away. They do. They pull out to the ocean. Where down in Sydney and in Brisbane, when you're checking the tide times, they don't leave. They'll go up, or the water will go up, or it'll go down. Oh, and that is because of up here where the reef starts, and there's no waves up here. You'll only get a wave, so nobody comes up here to surf. You'll only get a wave, and a really good wave, if there's a cyclone out at sea.
Oh, right. Which I hope that doesn't happen too often. You guys don't really get hit by those too much, do you?
Oh shit, yeah, mate. Yeah. We'll probably have a good year is 2 or 3 active cyclones. That's a good year. We start to worry when we don't get a cyclone, because that means it's building up somewhere. So that's when the big ones hit. But where I am located, back in 1918, one of the biggest cyclones ever hit and wiped out this little area of the east coast of the Whitsundays where I live, and it just flattened it. A lot of family, but that was back in 1918, so over 100 years ago. So you can imagine the infrastructure on the houses wasn't there, and so a lot of lives were lost.
Yeah.
And also
but now you guys build your houses a lot stronger, obviously, and you guys use the latest in technology, and you know, it's something we get hurricanes here. It's funny. It's like we get hurricanes here on the regular, and but still, it's like no matter what we do, we still get nailed. I mean, you could put, it's sort of like Japan. It's like Japan with their water, with their walls, to stop tsunamis. But as you saw in 2011, that doesn't always work. If you get a big enough storm, it's gonna go right. It's gonna go through you regardless. Everybody is talking about your garden. They want to know. They want to know how you keep bugs off your garden.
Well, until you brought it to my attention, I don't have a problem with bugs, but I did see some little nibbles on some little lettuce leaves over there. Soon I'm going to put a net over the top of that. I don't like to use chemicals, because I can come out into my garden and just pluck a leaf and just start eating it. It's what we do up here. It's a way of life. I don't go inside and wash it and prepare it and put gloves on and all that shit. I mean, sorry, Patrick. I mean,
I love it. You're the best, Fluff.
Many times I'll just come out and pull up this little stool that I'm sitting on, just sit there and just start eating my garden. But I don't have a lot of trouble with bugs, thank goodness. Fingers crossed. But I will put a net. I will put a net over it, because.
Okay. Because you don't have rabbits.
No, not in Queensland, mate.
No. That's another huge pest for gardens around here are rabbits. So you're just gonna throw a net over your salad bowl.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Laura has said that she named her 2 hibiscus plants Audrey and Audrey's 2 from the Little Shop of Horrors. Hobbs thinks that's fantastic. I do too.
Is Hobbs in the chat? Is Hobbs in the chat?
Hobbs is in the chat.
Hey, g'day, mate. How you going, mate?
Hobbs is here, and Heather is here, and she says New Zealand is Australia's poor cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with that? That's one of the things I found out. I did not know that until because I have a couple of friends in New Zealand. That there's a rivalry between New Zealand and Australia, and I was not aware of that. I thought you guys were like family, but she said no. New Zealanders and Australians don't always necessarily get along.
And for the record, I think there's more New Zealanders in Australia than what there is in New Zealand.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I can see that. It's how far is it away from New Zealand? And have you ever visited there?
No, never. I've never been to New Zealand. I've pretty much been all around the world, but I haven't been to New Zealand. My theory was when I was traveling to keep those closer countries for when I'm older.
So when you're 80 years old, that's when you'll visit New Zealand. Oh,
Then I'll jump on a plane and do the 3-hour trek. It's 3 hours by airplane. So I'd have to go to Brisbane. I'd have to fly down to Brisbane
okay.
and then jump on a plane and fly over to New Zealand that way.
3 hours is not that far away. That's really close.
It'd probably take me longer to get to Brisbane with the stopover and everything compared to what it actually is. So I'll give you a little idea of just how big Australia is. Everybody doesn't realise just how big Australia is. Quite a few years ago now, I was fortunate enough to travel over to Europe for 6 weeks. Anyway, the night before, I went out and I got on the sauce. This is not sauce. This is cup of coffee. It's only 10 o'clock here in the morning. 20 past 10. So anyway, the night before I went out and celebrated because, I'm traveling to Europe and, God knows what's going to happen to me over there. Anyway, so we celebrated. The next day I flew down to Brisbane and then got on the international flight over to London. And thank goodness I was nursing the worst hangover because I fell asleep. And it felt like I was asleep for hours. Well, I was asleep for hours. So I pulled myself together and I had a look at the plane, the itineraries, our flight, where we were. I'd been asleep for 5 hours, and when I jumped on to that little map to see how far we had flown, we hadn't even left Australia. We'd only just left the centre of Australia. We were still flying over Australia from Brisbane. So Brisbane's on the east coast. And
wow.
Yeah, 5 hours later, I could still see we were still in Australia.
I know Europe, you could take off from London and be in Italy in a couple of hours. It's not very far. It's, you could drive underneath the tunnel and go to France, Holland, and the Netherlands, and Belgium within a matter of hours. And from there you could drive from there into Germany and Austria. Europe is really close.
So I've told Heather, come hither with Heather, this story many times. She loves it. So when I was over in London, I was meant the thing that I regret the most about when I was over in Europe was I was in London and I was meant to go on a Jack the Ripper tour because I love that kind of stuff, Patrick. I love it. I live for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was in this pub and I met up with all these Aussies and we just got drunk in this pub, and I woke up pissed in Paris.
So basically, is it safe to say that when you have a few drinks, you go from being fluffed to being fluffed?
You said it a lot more politely than what I was going to say it.
It's like, hi, Fluff. No, she's had a few. Oh, she got fluffed. Okay. All right.
But I missed out on the Jack the Ripper tour because I got pissed and ended up in Paris.
Well, that's not such a bad consolation prize, is it?
No.
Yeah, Europe, France is beautiful.
Very, very old. See, everyone has to remember too. So it was an eye opener for me to go over there because these places are hundreds of years old, 1,000 years old. Australia's only 200 years old.
Yeah.
Even though that's a long time, but come on, I was looking at things that I'd never. So it was an eye opener. I'd never seen it before. I really wanted to get over to Egypt, but around that area. But we all know how crap that's been the last 15 years. It's not pretty much safe to.
No.
It just seemed to get, the the war in Siberia and stuff like that. And like, I don't want to bring negativity to our beautiful interview and stuff like that, but it just wasn't the right time to travel. So that's one that's on my bucket list, to go over and see the pyramids. And Egypt, Jordan, and Jerusalem, I'd really love to go and see.
Yes, yeah. I would love to see Jerusalem myself. I would like to see where the Crusades were.
Yeah.
Like I like to go to France and see Normandy Beach.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to Australia and see Darwin.
Yeah.
And of course the Whitsundays.
Yeah. Well,
So you and your husband, do you guys okay? I wasn't kidding when I said adventure. You two definitely are the most adventuresome couple I know on the tube. You guys are always doing something fun.
It's not an adventure. It's our life. It's a lifestyle up here, Patrick. And Patrick, if you were up here, and anyone in the chat, this is the lifestyle you would be living. It's a lifestyle. It's not an adventure. We don't. I suppose until I started my channel, I didn't realize just how much of a great lifestyle I had, if that makes sense. Like, I love my way of. I love my way of life. I wouldn't know what it'd be like to go to a supermarket and buy some fish and come home and cook it. That's not allowed up here. You go and you catch your own fish, you know. Everyone up here's got a boat. Everyone up here's got traps. Everyone up here goes pig hunting. Everyone up here goes.
How do you do pig hunting?
Pig hunting. Well, you go out to the paddocks and you shoot the bastards.
Oh, see, I was going to ask you about that because it's like I thought weapons were very strict in Australia.
Right. From what I can gather, there's three types of people who are allowed to have guns in Australia: police, farmers, and robbers. Drug addicts.
Yeah, they if you don't have them, they can't get them. Australia is one of the safest countries.
We had a big seize up here not long ago. Something like 82 sawn-off shotguns and a couple of semi-automatics, and they were on this deserted place out in the middle of whoop whoop, and the dogs seen this haystack, a big haystack. Anyway, it was a bunker, and there was only a top layer of hay, like that much under it, because the dogs started scratching it away, and then they found this bunker, and it just had all these guns and ammo and drugs and cash. It was one of the biggest hauls Australia's ever seen.
You know what we call that in America?
What?
That's a slow day.
Oh. It was a good day for us. I felt proud. So here's to the coppers that stumbled upon that. They said if it wasn't for the dog, they would have missed that.
Australia is one of the safest countries when it comes down to that activity.
Yeah, but we have our fair share of nutcases.
Yeah.
Look what happened down in poor Tasmania nearly 30 years ago for us not to have a gun.
Yeah, Martin.
Yeah.
Yes, I read about that. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You know what though? You know what? At least your country did the right thing.
We had a good prime minister at the time, mate. A good one who looked out.
We don't have that kind of leadership here. We got leadership that does nothing. So you mentioned everybody has a boat. You guys have a boat, and you guys have taken us on many. Oh, you have two boats. Now what boats have we seen? I've seen one boat. It's sort of smaller. Now do you have a small boat and a bigger boat?
Yep.
Okay. So I think I've only seen the small boat.
Well, they're both tinnies, so that's what we call them up here. But one's a smaller tinny, and that's really good for creeks, getting up and down creeks. And we usually use that for mud crabbing because we can get right into the mangroves and drop our pots to catch all the mud crabs.
Okay.
And then we've got Big Blue, and we take him out to the reefs. He's a bit bigger. You wouldn't. So the little tinny we affectionately named the Black Pearl.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And we will take the Black Pearl out with us when we go crabbing, and we'll go into the swamps and the mangroves and drop our pots and try to catch mud
How does
crabs.
that work? Now, how does that work? Now, do you have? I mean, because aren't salties back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why every time I'm going back there, I'm like, okay, I know they're back there on that boat. I know they're. I mean, is it like one person hauling in the gear and the other person like this? Like waiting for that. Son of a bitch to mop his nose. How does that work? How do you keep the salties off your crab?
Oh, well, you can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question, mate.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't.
We've been fortunate enough, like we see them sunning themselves on the banks and that, and we've been out fishing, and we everywhere here where I am, everywhere there's signs up everywhere. Watch out for the crocs. Don't go swimming. Yada yada yada. Right.
Yeah.
So being up here for so long, you just know. But
Not
they're
to do
everywhere because they move. The worst thing about a crocodile, Patrick, is that the bastard can leave the water and chase you up on land.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're just as safe on the water as what we are on land. I don't know. You just know. You know when you know. I don't know.
Now, have you ever seen one when you were out there crabbing?
Shit, yeah. And my my guts dropped. You just and when you see, you know what it is. As soon as you see it, you just know what it is. You know when you know. Oh, that feeling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't tell anyone. But we've been that scared that we've just packed up and pissed off out of there, mate.
Oh, there's no shame and there's no shame in your game saying that. I would, if that was you and me, you'd be surprised to see how fast I could get my feet going. They would actually call me the cheater for real.
I made a video once of running away. About 2 years ago now. Running away from a crocodile. We went down to check our pots. We were out bush camping. So we're out in the wilderness. So it was a stretch of ocean and then inland a bit, and all the water rushes into the mangroves and stuff. And we were walking deep in mangroves and in the dark, as you know, and half pissed and one torch anyway. We went to check our pots and I just made eye contact with this croc and I just pissed off out of there. Well, Dan took off. He left me. I'm still filming and we're running through these bushes. And I'll tell you what, mate, Usain Bolt, eat your heart out because your girl Fluff can run when she thinks that she's going to get gobbled up by a crocodile.
It's funny too, and I know that everybody who's an American in the chat can relate to this. Like when we first watched Crocodile Dundee, right? The first time I remember watching it, and then there they are, and then there's the girl out there, and she's got her little canteen, and she gets there to the water, and she's filling it, and all of a sudden that giant ass croc came out, and like half the people, I swear to you, half the people in the theater laughed. They laughed because they thought the crocodile was so big. Everybody's sitting there like, damn, could the crocodile even get bigger? They didn't understand that that's what the size of a crocodile is.
Yeah.
That represented a true salty. We American crocodiles are way smaller than that for the most part.
Yeah.
So
the crocs up here, their heads would be the size of what you guys get in America. Yeah, they're huge. They're huge. Yeah. What did I see the other day? I seen a 7-meter croc. 7 meters. That's 700 centimeters. Crazy.
That's absolutely insane. But you do like crabbing, you and your husband love fishing. So now I've been saving this question because I brought a couple of because I wanted to know because I hadn't heard anything. But did you ever catch your Bermundi?
No.
So you have to but it's coming to be, it's summertime. It's going to be summertime for you. So you guys going to be going back out there after it, aren't you?
Well, barra season closes on the 1st of December. So you're not allowed to keep a barramundi from the 1st of December until the 1st of March, because that is their breeding season. And
Right.
barramundi season will close. So I've only got a couple of months to catch a barra. Do you know I have been trying to catch a barra for 25 years, Patrick?
I know. I know. You know what, you guys are really I mentioned this too, because in a sense, because you and Dan go out fishing so much, your channel is priced. I would consider, maybe not a full fishing channel, but pretty damn near close. And sometimes, but I did notice that and I'm glad to see this too. Um, you guys are very aware of restrictions, and
Mm.
and you also put things back.
Mm.
Like when you went crabbing, I was listening. I was watching you do crabbing, and you were like, we can't take these. You cannot take these, and you put them back. And
Yeah.
the thing what it was, it wasn't like, oh, it's a female, and then throw it back. You guys put it back. There's a big difference, and I noticed that. It's one of the things that when I first started watching your channel, and it earned you my respect, because
Oh.
you took care of your catch. You just didn't
Oh.
throw it like over here. And that's one good thing about America that I do like. A lot of the fishing channels, when
Yep.
they do catch and release. Now I know
Yeah.
you do catch and eat,
Yeah.
and that's all right, because that's the way. That's, like you said, that's the way of your life. Over
Yeah.
here, I'm not so sure. People really want to eat anything out of a river here in America. I mean, you're taking your life in your hands.
I
Um,
hear that all the time, mate. See, I can't get over that. I can't understand that. Like fishing is a way of life. It's hard for me to get my head around. That just sort of drums home how lucky I am, I
yeah,
suppose.
it's really depressing to see people. A lot of they pull out fish that you would think that, hey, like the guy pulls out a 50-pound catfish, or a 15-pound bass, and you're thinking that'd be a great meal. You could go ahead and keep that and eat it, and that'd be awesome. But the fact of the matter is, over here, you're not really sure what you're catching along with that fish. That you don't know what that fish has been ingesting. So, you pretty much just catch it, take a picture of it, put it on the tube, and then release it. You know, because you take your life in your hands. For the most part, if you're
Yeah,
catching fish from our rivers.
yeah,
Um,
that's crazy, mate. Mate, that's crazy.
Now, where did you learn to love the outdoors at? I mean, I know you say it's a lifestyle, but not everybody is going to be living your
Mm.
lifestyle. There's some people that are urban and some people are rural.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did how were you always a rural girl?
Yep, yep. So it's just in my blood, mate. Yeah. So didn't grow up here in the Whitsundays. I actually grew up pretty much in the centre of New South Wales, um, on cotton properties, so cotton fields. So cotton was a very big industry where I grew up. We were bush kids. Well, I remember riding a horse down the main street. I remember getting thrown off a horse down the main street, and everyone from the corner pub come running out to see if I was okay, gave me some ice and told me to get back on the horse and go home.
How many times how many times did you fall on your butt from a horse?
Oh, heaps. So much so that my mother ended up selling my horse and buying me a push bike. And it turns out I wasn't that much better on a push bike anyway.
I've only ridden the horse a couple of times when I was a kid. I mean, it wasn't all that big either. It was just like, riding around just a little bit. My grandfather had a few horses, so we saddled them up, and we jump on there. And here I am, a little 8-year-old kid, but I could ride. I couldn't do that now, but back then I could ride.
Oh,
Uh,
it's
uh,
been a long
um,
time since I've been on a horse. But no, we grew up. I grew up out on properties. There'd be nothing for us to have to walk outside to use the toilet, the outhouse. And it was a pit. And every couple of months, the outhouse would get picked up by a tractor and moved to another hole in the ground, and that's where we did our business. That's where my grandmother saw the yowie, Patrick.
What does she see?
A yowie.
What is a yowie?
You have to go over and have a look at Fluff's channel and find out what a yowie is, Patrick.
Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Are you? Is your heritage? Are you Irish?
No. Yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We come over. For before we did our ancestry, we always thought we were convicts because we were so poverty. So we always assumed that we came over here as poor people or slaves.
Or yes,
But
yes.
as it turns out, we have some Irish, but a lot of Scottish. So
Oh,
our
oh, the Scots got
earliest
popped over there too. They
pardon.
were slaves. They were slaves too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
as much as the Irish, but yeah.
We had we can trace back about 150 years ago that our ancestors were actually called a lord of some sort, and when they came over here to Australia, they dropped the lord and dropped one letter in their name. I don't know why they did that, but that was interesting to find out where we're from. We have probably a little bit of Aboriginal, but wouldn't be much now. And we could probably trace that back to even 130 years ago. No Islander. Islanders are very big up here. South Sea Islands and Torres Strait Islander nationalities are very big up here in the Whitsundays. Where I'm at right now, where I live, sugar is a very big. Sugar and coal mining are very big, but coal mining is way out west a bit. So that's where Dan is at the moment. He's out west working, and I think he drives about 3.5 hours to get out west to a coal mine.
Is he
He's not
is he coal mining or is he
no,
just?
he's not a coal miner. He doesn't mine coal as such, but he works for a big company in a firm who do repairs and maintenance on the
Oh,
coal mine itself. So that's Dan's job out there. He's the supervisor for a big company.
so he's
And
he's not underground.
no, 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 no. No, he doesn't go underground. So he doesn't actually mine the coal. He just works because it's a very big industry. You can imagine how many jobs there would be to manage and farm a coal mine. So the coal industry is very big up here. And we ship out a lot of coal from a lot of our ports, which is really sad, Patrick. You should see what the bastards are doing to our reef.
Well,
By
they've already done that here. You see all the coal mining here in our country, and the Appalachians, just the poorest section of the country.
yeah,
And coal mining, it ruins the rivers. It ruins, we don't need it.
they
We've developed alternative energy, but it's like it's a coal mining
billion do-
here. It's a past industry.
billion billion dollar industry here where I am, Patrick. Every second person's got something to do with the mines up here. They do a lot of fly in, fly out workers as well. So the coal industry to Australia is worth heaps, but they dredge my beautiful ocean. So the ocean, I'm pointing that way because that's where the ocean is. The ocean's probably about an 8-minute walk from my house.
That's beautiful.
And they just dredge it. They just dredge it so those big coal mine ships can come in to take the big shipping containers away. And it's terrible what they're doing to my ocean out there, Patrick. It's so sad. We get Greenies, Greenpeace, and we've got a political party in Australia called the Greens, and they try to fight for our beautiful reef, but the coal industry is just too big and just too precious for Australia. And then on a happier note, another industry, another primary industry that around this area is sugarcane, Patrick. Sugarcane pretty much, when I came here 27 years ago, sugarcane pretty much was growing up the main street of the little town. You would drive past about 8 different sugarcane paddocks and fields and park and pull up in a shopping centre. It was sugar's a big thing up here, sugarcane industry.
You mentioned about the cotton. Is that what you did when you were a youngster? Did you pick cotton in cotton fields?
Well, yeah, I did. So the cotton is out west of New South Wales, and to be precise, it's if you look on a map, you'll see in New South Wales this place called Dubbo. Everyone takes the piss out of Dubbo because it's Dubbo, but it's in the middle of nowhere. So out back west of Dubbo, when I was a child, cotton was the primary industry. Cotton and sheep. My grandfather was a sheep shearer. I grew up also in shearing sheds, Patrick.
Okay.
So thanks for reminding me about all this. I've lived a beautiful outdoorsy life all my life, Patrick. I would go to a shearing shed with my grandfather and watch him shear 100 sheep a day. I'd have to pick up the fleece and throw it on the fleecing table so the wool class would come over and sort it out and put it in the correct bale that it needed to
And
be.
it was, and it wasn't light, was it?
No.
No, it's people. I think people when they see shearing, they just think it's just it's just sheep hair, sheep wool. That's like if you watch enough, they'll sit there and say, "Well, we shaved off a sheep that's been overgrown," and
Yeah.
you'll hear somebody say, "Yeah, we shaved off 130 pounds
Yeah.
of wool," and it's like,
Yeah.
holy shit, it's like, and they're still able to walk.
Oh
And
yeah.
now that's just the wild sheep. I'm talking. I mean, domestic sheep like you have there. I mean. They
Oh,
do.
they're
Don't
still
they
wild.
shear them once a year. They shear them once a year or once every other year.
Well, they'll do crutching. So crutching's just shearing around their arse. So that is something that they have to do because when sheep go to the toilet, they don't wipe their arse, so they get those dags hanging off them. So crutching's a big thing, and that's where the shearer will come in and just shave around the sheep's arse, and off you
Okay.
go. So that would probably happen. And then I think it is once a year. You might. It depends on the flock too. Like it depends on how big they are. You might have a fully grown sheep that needs shearing, and then 6 months later their babies are ready to be shorn. So I think a sheep only gets shorn once a year and crutched once a year. Sorry about that, mate. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's
It's been
fascinating.
27 years since I've seen a sheep. We don't have sheep up here in the Whitsundays. It's just goddamn too hot for them, mate. It's the humidity. It kill you. You don't have sheep up here. You get cattle up here, but not sheep. Not up here
Now
in the Whitsundays. Yeah.
you mentioned the temperature. What's the average temperature where you're at? I mean, does it ever get cold where you're at, or is it
Well,
always like? Or is your winter like it's 80 degrees? Is that your winter, or
yeah.
does it get cold?
We had an extra cold year this year, but from what I can gather, the whole of Australia was cold. But I can remember I splurged this year and I went and bought myself an electric blanket because it was just so cold, and um, I, I don't know how to. I think 75 in your measurement is, or 60. I think I got down to about 60.
Okay, that's a little tippy. That's a little nippy.
Yeah, which is incredible for us because we're a warm climate. We're not used to the cold, so we not a lot of no houses up here would have a fireplace unless it was an outdoor fireplace, and that was just to look pretty or to entertain or something like that. But we don't have fireplaces up here, mate. But I got an electric blanket.
Uh,
I froze. I froze this year, but no, we probably sit around. I think our temperature is around about 33 degrees. I'm not sure what it is in your measurement, but the humidity is, always sits around 100%. So it's
do you get thunderstorms? Do you get thunderstorms every day?
no, no.
Heather,
27 years.
Heather's saying that your weather's like just generally speaking, think Florida weather. So
Yeah,
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 okay,
yeah.
but without the daily thunderstorm.
What when I moved up here 27 years ago, we had a dry season and a wet season where it
Okay,
would just constantly rain. Um, we're in a different weather pattern now. We're in El Nino, or sorry, mates. I don't know, but we're in a different weather pattern. So apparently, I think someone said that means it's going to bring rain this year. Does anyone know in the chat? Heather will know. what weather pattern are we in, Heather? In Australia? Oh, well, is everyone in it, or is it just Australia who's having this It's not El Nino.
No,
It's
we're supposed to get infected by our weather. Supposed to be affected by it. Weather this year. We're supposed to have a wetter and colder winter this year.
okay.
Uh,
Well,
yeah,
our winter,
more than usual.
our winter was terrible, mate.
Was it because it
Freezing.
was too hot?
No, too cold for me. It was just too cold. I was just whinging and complaining, and because I live so close to the ocean as well, I was getting all the really cold southeasterly breeze. Oh, that was freezing. And I live in a little old cottage, so it's a Heather will know what I'm talking about. It's like a poor man's Queenslander. Up here, they if you know what a Queenslander is, if someone says they live in a Queenslander house, that is usually built up high to catch all the cool breeze, and it's
Oh, okay.
usually a house with verandas all the way around it, and a big exposed staircase coming down the front, and it's to catch all the cool breezes, and it's elevated off the ground because we do have a lot of tropical storms and flash floodings and things like that. But mine's a poor man's Queenslander. It is, so it's a little cottage.
Okay.
Still cute. Still cute.
Your house is so cute.
Yeah, it is cute. It's a cute house, but very old. We feel like we're always pumping money into it, but that's what you do when you're a homeowner. You gotta put some money into it because it's your home. You got to have a safe roof over your head, don't you, mate?
Yes, I totally agree with that. And Heather is saying, let's see, Heather is saying it. Oh, Nora must live in Florida. She says
Yeah.
it rains every day there. She's so sick of. She's over it. Yeah, that's one thing about Florida. It's like you can get out there and have a perfectly blue, sunny day, and then wait till about the early afternoon, and then on one half it'll be all blue and perfect, and the other hand it looks like the hand of God is coming. And then it thunderstorms for 15 minutes, and then it moves on. It's the weirdest every day. It's the weirdest thing. Let's see.
I've got blue skies here at 10:52 a.m. Blue skies, beautiful.
I got a question for you from Patrick. What does Fluffy think of her country's new king? I don't. Does Australia still consider the king and queen?
Yeah.
They do. Okay. I thought it was just.
Who asked that question, please, Patrick?
Yeah, that would be the monkey.
Oh, okay, the monkey. Sorry, mate. G'day, mate. G'day from the Whitsundays. Yeah, the king. Yeah. Yes. So Australia is still in a Commonwealth. And like other countries, when there was talk of getting out of the monarchy once the Queen died, I think that my personal opinion is I think that Australia stayed with the Queen out of respect for the Queen. A lot of Aussies, you get two types of Aussies. You get your Aussies who don't give a flying fuck about. Oh, sorry, mate, who don't care about the Queen. Who don't care about the Queen.
I totally get that.
And then you get the ones like me. I love the Queen. I love the Queen. Oh, she's the Queen. And I'm an adult now, and I love the Queen when I was a little girl. But also to I respect the Queen, and now as an adult, I sit back and I see exactly what she had done for the British monarch. Like, well done, great. It's to say that kids couldn't pull the line and stuff, but at the end of the day, she's human. But she was a queen; she did her job. I would have liked to have known her to have done something groundbreaking. It never happened, but I still have respect for the Queen. The rest, I don't know so much about the rest. I think William and Kate will make. I'm happy that they'll be the next king and queen. So
you sort of feel sorry for Charles. I mean, Charles has been a prince. I mean, you think about it. He's 73 years old. How much time do you really think that he has before he ain't gonna live? No, he's not gonna rule for 96 years.
Well, we were taking bets the other day at the pub. I said 10 years, 83, and Prince Charles will be carked it. And my other girlfriend said Camilla will go before he does, and yada yada yada. I want to share with you all something, Patrick. I don't sort of want to get political. I wanted to so much do this on my channel, but and please pull me up if I'm out of order in any way whatsoever.
No,
I just didn't want to bring it into my channel. But I when Prince Charles became king, and he had his proclamation, I think that they call it a proclamation. So that is where he's sworn in, and he's to notify the Commonwealth that he's the new head of the church and the new king of the Commonwealth, because his mother had passed away. And a couple of days later, all the Commonwealths were announcing and respecting him, and announcing that, like, for an example, our Prime Minister got up and said, "We acknowledge the new king. God save the king. Australia accepts that Queen Elizabeth has died, and we welcome the new king in," and yada, yada, yada. King of England in. And then it cut to our native Australian Aboriginals. Now, this is where I'll get a bit emotional, so pull me up if I'm out of place. They made those Aboriginals get up and do a ceremony for the new King of England. Can we just take a moment to remember who sent ships over to Australia?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I stood there and my heart was just pounding. I'm the whitest person that you'll ever meet. I felt for those Aboriginals. I actually said to my friend, they shouldn't have made those Aboriginals do that. They
No.
should not. It should not have been done. My opinion, Patrick. This is my opinion. Please don't come for me in the comments, everyone.
Oh, there won't be. There won't.
I would have had more respect for those Aboriginals if they had worshipped the new King of England in by dropping their pants and throwing a brown eye and flicking him the finger. I would have
Hell
had
yeah.
I would have had more respect for them. And the
And you know what?
conversation got going.
And here's something. Here's something for you too. If they had actually done that,
Yeah.
I would have been proud to stand right next to him and do the same thing.
Yep. Me too, mate. Me too. I'm so cranky at the Australian government. They paid people, Aboriginal people, to do that. Rumour is that they asked quite a few Aboriginal Parliament people to organise it, and they said no. So good.
Good.
So sorry,
Yeah,
mate.
people
I had to
don't
get
know
that off
about
my
it.
chest.
I have to say over here, I don't think a lot of people understand the history of Australia.
No.
They don't understand how it was founded, and your Aborigines are our Native Americans, and
Yeah.
quite honestly, us Irish and Scots were our African Americans. You try to explain that like we were, Australia was founded on the backs of slavery. Hard for people to understand that, it's like it's not everything was all.
The government got up a few years ago and said sorry to our First Nations people for stealing their children, the stolen generation.
Yeah.
The government, it was only a few years ago, Patrick, it took all this time for the Australian government to acknowledge that there is a stolen generation.
I'm still waiting for the Empire to stand up and acknowledge the fact that they enacted Black 47 on Ireland, and they also shipped us over there to Australia. Many of them were innocent people. They did nothing wrong. They were all put on convict ships and shipped over to Australia. So yeah, I agree with you, and you have every right to say that, and no one's going to come at you at all. Because it's history. You can't fight history. But I've got a curious question too. Since you were talking a lot about this, I'm just curious. How do Australians see Americans? How do you see us as a people? I know it's a general question, but how as a whole, how do you think Australians perceive us?
The younger, I know the younger generation. I know that I love the well, how do I say? I know that the younger generation of Australians do love the American pop culture. Think that it's okay to walk around with Fendi handbags and live like Kylie Jenner and try to make beatbox rap music and or R&B and things like that. I have noticed that in the last probably 20 years. It's also very evident with how Australia celebrates Halloween. So I never ever celebrated Halloween as a child. It just wasn't something that you did in Australia. Halloween isn't it is now, but it never was a big thing. Probably the last 15 years. To answer your question, the newer generation pretty much perceive, I don't know how that they're trying to adopt the American way. You, when I grew up, you'd never see a child walking down the street beatboxing or rapping or anything like that. If anything, that the only music that they probably would have heard, well, my generation and where I grew up, would have been country and western music or radio music. Now you see the kids getting around dressed like the young American kids did 20 years ago, where their pants are hanging down off their ass and they're jiving and they're talking like this, and they've got a Yves Saint Laurent handbag or designer everything, and then going around trick or treating like that was never Australia.
I take it you don't do trick or treat yourself in your area.
I've got a sign that I put up every year because I've got a little cottage. So my house looks like a little haunted house on the corner. So it's cute and it's beautiful. But I put a sign on my fence about 10 years ago, and it said, any Aussie kid who comes to my house trick or treating is going to get a beer.
You're gonna be you know what? You're gonna be the most popular house on the block. Are you kidding? What? If I was a parent, I would be coming to your house and knocking on the door. The parents, parents need a beer when they go trick or treating. Let me tell you, if they walk their kids around the houses, they need a beer. Oh my gosh! Yes.
I don't think they've seen the funny side. I've had a lot of parents say, well, if you don't participate, you don't participate. And I said, well, don't bring your fucking kids here or they're going to get a beer. Now piss off.
I'm going to go back to one of the questions I wanted to ask you, because it was like one of the most exciting things I saw on your channel. You actually went fishing one time on your boat and your boat flipped over. So tell us about that. Tell us about that day. I was like, when you were talking about that, I was so scared for you. I was like, holy shit.
Well, it didn't technically flip over. A freak wave hit it. And we lost all our camera. Is that when we lost all our camera equipment?
Yeah, that was from that. Yeah.
Yeah, now, that one. Yeah, because I'm saying to myself, I've never been in a boat that's capsized.
What's really weird too is I remember before you posted that adventure, I remember watching you guys out there fishing, and I noticed that your boat was so small. I'm going like, that's a small boat. That's like a boat you put on a lake, not the ocean. And then I remember someone like, where's their life jackets? Where's the life jacket? No.
We have them. We have them because you have to. We've got life jackets, and we've got emergency flares, and we've got our VRM code. So VRM is Volunteer Marine Rescue, and we have our communication. We've got a beaker and stuff like that. That's why we got two boats for, Patrick, because the little boat we take out into the creeks, and the bigger boat we take out to the out to the little islands and out to the reefs and that. But yeah, one day we were out live streaming, and I had all the camera equipment and our phones and everything, and it was glass water. The water was glass. You could throw a stone in it, it'd just ripple, and it was just glass. Then all of a sudden,
a rogue wave.
Out come the middle of nowhere, this wave, and just rocked us, and we got thrown all over, all
Wow.
over the boat, but all the filming equipment and our phone, that just landed in the drink at the bottom of the ocean. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, that happens. We have over here on our coastline on the west coast, we have what they call sneaker waves, and that is you can stay on the beach and they'll have waves come up, but not big waves, just small waves will
Yeah.
come up, and then they'll roll back.
Yes.
But sometimes the waves will come, and then on the way back they'll hit another wave, and it goes all the way inland, and if you're not careful, it can take you with it.
Yeah.
My brother is on the coast of Oregon, and he's seen those waves. They're scary as hell. So the ocean is an interesting place to be.
The ocean is a very strong machine, natural
Yeah,
machine. It's very unpredictable. It's like a wild horse when you're out there riding it. It's
yeah,
unpredictable.
yeah. You
Mm.
can't really tame the ocean.
No.
Um, so we mentioned earlier about your very cute house, and you do have a very cute house. And one of the fun things I really like watching, especially when you live stream it, is that when you do cooking. Um,
Ah.
I really enjoy that, and I think it's a lot of fun. And you got such a cute kitchen, and so where did you get the love of cooking at? Was that something your mom passed down to you? Was that something you developed yourself? Uh,
Um.
what, what, what's your favorite dish to cook?
Oh, everything. I love to cook everything. I'm a very very fussy eater. I don't go out to eat at a lot of places because I I do like my own cooking. So and I can cook a little bit. Not I wouldn't go on any My Kitchen Rules or Master Chef episodes or anything like that. But my grandmother, I suppose, I watched my grandmother for years. Like I was a small child in the 80s, Patrick. So we food wasn't like it is today. Like I remember the supermarket, little supermarket where we used to buy our supplies from, closing at 12 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon, and you would have nothing all weekend until 9 o'clock Monday morning until the shop
Right.
opened back up again. I watched my mother and my grandmother, and we were no means a rich family at all, but I don't know, nobody was those days, and especially where I grew up, nobody was rich. I seen my grandmother just go to the pantry and just pull out flour and then get some eggs, get some sugar, get some salt, and make a gourmet meal. Go out to the garden and pull some carrots out of the ground and harvest some potatoes and just make an absolutely gorgeous meal. And as a child, we worked hard and we played hard. So when we came home to eat, we came home to eat.
Eat.
Like yeah, I still remember the great conversations around the coffee table, dining table, and falling to sleep, and because we worked hard and played hard as kids. I grew up in 46-degree heat in the middle of summer in cotton field countries. And, my grandfather was the shearer, as I said. I can remember riding a push bike 3Ks to get to a shearing shed just to see my grandfather and have smoko with him. And we'd all sit down in the shearing shed, and the cook from the shearing party would come over with all these fresh scones and black cups of tea, and all the shearers would be sitting down having smoko, and food was always a very fun, special occasion for me, I suppose. So maybe that's where I got my love for food. I don't do a lot of takeaway food. It's a way of life. You make your dinner. You go to the cupboard and you have a look, and then you pull out what you can, and then you make something from that. You know.
No.
Uh,
Yeah, because you cook some amazing things.
yeah.
I mean, and you sit out there and you're on your stove and you explain how it's done. And um, now
Thank you.
do you and Dan do you guys ever go grocery shopping together? Do you guys ever plan meals together? or does
Yeah,
or does he eat pretty much what you want?
yeah, we pretty yeah. So fish and seafood would make up 80% of our diet. Dan's just your Aussie man. Give Dan steak, chips, and eggs and gravy every night of the week, and he'll eat it. Like he, he's not too fussed when it comes to food. So Dan always cooks Sunday night's dinner. Patrick always. He'll go to the supermarket or to the butcher shop. And Sunday night he'll always prepare dinner.
That's so cool. That's very
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, he loves it. He'll
Now,
go and choose.
I guess I've been saving this question, but now, because I know everybody's been asking and they want to know, but
What?
how did you and Dan meet?
Right. Permission to speak freely.
Say whatever you want. The floor is yours.
I met Dan pissed at the pub. He was there with his mate, and I was there with my mate, and our mates were a couple, and me and Dan were pissed, and match made in pub heaven.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I remember you telling me that, and you told me that exactly the same way. You told me that, you were fluffed. You were fluffed at the pub. But that's awesome though, because what's so great about it is that while you were fluffed at the pub, but the next day you guys were like, "Hey, this is something I really do like." So let's do. Now we're both sober, might be hungover a little bit, and if you ever get hungover again, drink lots of cranberry juice. That'll take away your hangover.
Okay.
Cranberry juice is the best way to take care of a hangover.
I thought the best way to take care. Well, the Aussie way here in Australia, the best way to take care of a hangover is just keep drinking.
Yeah, the hair of the dog. What they call it, the hair of the dog. Yeah, you just keep drinking the next day. No, cranberry juice is the best thing. It'll take it away and take away your headache and whatnot.
Patrick, if you're up here, what I love about the Whitsundays is too, if you're up here holidaying, mate, and it was 9 o'clock in the morning, there's nothing better than a brekkie beer. Woohoo!
No, I know a lot of people that do that. They'll get up early in the morning. As long as they don't have to work, and they'll crack open a beer. They'll have a beer.
If we're not out on the water and that, Saturday afternoons, Dan and myself like to go to the local pub where we met. Dan will put on a couple of trifectas at the pub, and I'll play a couple of kenos. And there's this thing where every time you buy a drink, the barmaids will give you a raffle ticket.
Okay.
And it only runs for 1 hour. So if you drink 5 beers in that hour, you're going to get 5 raffle tickets. So then after that, they a raffle ticket book, and you get 1 ticket, and then the other ticket with the same number on it goes into the barrel. And if after that hour, if the publican draws out the raffle ticket and you've got that ticket, you get to choose from a pack of 52 cards, and you've got to find the joker, right? So there's cards up on the screen, and if you were lucky enough to choose the card, you get to turn the card, and if it's the joker, you win the set amount, and if you don't win it, the money amount goes up every week. So we're up to about $5,800 now.
Wow.
So the last couple of Saturdays, we've been going to the pub, having a beer, getting our raffle tickets to try to win this.
Wait a minute, did you say raffle ticket or raffle tickets?
So, sorry, I'm so bad. Yeah, so you know your old ticket books. I don't know if you get them in Australia, and just say it's a raffle book, ticket book, and it's got 1 ticket here with number 1 on it, and then
right. They split it in two.
So there's 2 number 1s, right? And so you get number 1, and then the other number 1 goes into the barrel. And then after an hour, the publican will reach into the barrel, and if they pull out your number that you've got, you go over and you can pick from a pack of 53 cards. How many's in a pack of cards? 52, and then you got
52 plus the Joker, so 54.
Yeah. So there's only one Joker up there.
Oh,
and
53.
Yeah, and then they turn the card, and then whatever it is, if it's the Queen of Hearts, I think I got to turn the card once, and I actually got the Queen of Hearts. I did, and then that Queen of Hearts stays turned around. Then next week, the jackpot goes up to another $100, and you've got less cards to go. I think there's something like
so
7
once you take the
cards
queen,
left.
so once you take the queen off the board, it doesn't go back.
No. All the cards are still there. So every card is there, and they just turn it around. So at the moment, there are 7 cards left. So there's 6 cards in the pack, and one of them's the Joker. And then they keep it turned around. So this has been going for all year. So all year, it's been going. I think they started off at $2,000. So
someone's gonna win. I mean, real soon.
Yeah, real. And it's usually around Christmas time that someone wins about $7,000. So it's just a great thing. We love it. And then you'll have your meat trays getting around, and you buy a ticket in the meat tray, and
sure.
Yeah, it's a way of life. And if you were up here, Patrick, you'd be doing the same thing with us.
Oh, I definitely would have a pint to try to my luck at that. Definitely, I definitely would.
It's a good couple of hours on a Saturday afternoon at the pub. Play some pool, and win a meat tray and try to win the Joker money cash draw. So it's a good great couple of hours. It's a lifestyle up here, Patrick.
How did you how did you get your start on the tube? I mean, how long have you had your channel?
I've had my channel now for 2.5 years. And it's fair to say that it's my thing. It's not Dan's thing, if you know what I mean. But he's happy to support me. He asks me questions and all that, but it's not Dan's thing. I think he knows what our channel name is, but apart from that, I don't think that he would know how to operate. I know for a fact he wouldn't know how to operate it, or how to upload a video, or even how to make a movie or whatever. It's not his thing. It is my thing. He is very supportive of it, though. He has asked me to keep a lot of things private because, like I am putting myself out there for the whole world to judge me. And, let's face it, we don't all do things the same way. And when it comes to other people telling people what to do with their life, they become very opinionated.
No, I'm with you about that. Fluff, was Fluff a nickname of yours before you did your channel, or was that something that you came up with when you did your channel?
That's something I came up when I did my channel.
Well, now, how did you come up with calling yourself Fluff?
I don't know. I do not know. I like it. All that fluff and stuff.
Yeah, it's super cute. I remember the first time I saw you come in tuber chat, and the first thing I thought was, when I saw that fluff and stuff, I'm going like, puff and stuff. HR puff and stuff.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that whatsoever. I don't know. To me now, all that fluff and stuff represents a lot of fluff and stuff in my life.
like growing a garden.
Like the garden, the cooking, the going out and catching dinner, going camping. I did a beautiful live the other day where I did a live and we watched the sun come up over the east coast of Australia. It was absolutely beautiful. All that fluff and stuff now just represents my life here on YouTube, and a little bit of the lifestyle that I live. In my description, I've got a feel-good channel because that's what I want to be. I want to be a feel-good channel. I want positivity. I want beautifulness. I live a very relaxed, cool life, I suppose. You
Sure.
know, and I say, you know, a lifestyle channel. I refer to all that fluff and stuff as a lifestyle channel. My lifestyle.
Yeah, no, you're perfectly right. Has anybody recognized you in your neighborhood on your off your channel? Do people know in your neighborhood that you do this?
So I've
Oh, that's
actually
cool.
got I've actually got a couple of YouTubers who are probably only in a 50k radius. So I don't know kilometers. I can't convert it to miles, but there's a couple of YouTubers that are in a 50k radius. There's a lot up in Townsville that I follow. They go fishing a lot, catch a lot of barramundi. I often say,
You
oh my
should go
God, I
hang
can't.
out with them one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're about 6-7 hours. Oh no, they're about 4 hours drive from where I am. Up
It might
up
be worth it
north.
to catch that barramundi.
Oh, I say to Dan all the time when we're coming home from fishing, oh my God, I feel like the shittiest fisher person on the YouTube because we're not that good of a fishing channel. Thank goodness I called that all that fluff and stuff because I can throw in a bit more fluff when there's no stuff happening.
It's not as easy. I think people expect that when you think about Australia, I think people expect that when you go out on your boat, all you have to do is just throw your hook in the water and fish are just fighting to jump on it. But it's not that way, is it?
We do we back to seafood and fish being 80% of our diet. It is nothing for us to go out. We've got a cast net, and if it's right and the prawns are jumping, so we don't call them shrimp. Okay, they're called prawns. Every Aussie will call a shrimp prawn, just prawn. A shrimp is one of those little people. That's what we call a shrimp, a
Right.
little person. And then we go mud crabbing, and then we go fishing. You know, where was I going with this? Oh, I
How
don't.
mighty, how you're a mighty fisher person.
Oh yeah, so it's a lot to do with it. I like to share with everyone, you know, how we throw the cast net and stuff, to catch, you know, prawns. Whether we're going to keep them for bait or whether we're going to eat them, it's two different things. You know, like we can
Right.
split them up and stuff. But yeah, fishing, the most expensive way to get dinner for free.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're not you're not you did that takeaway challenge too.
I did,
You went ahead and take away food. You got the Australian version of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
very entertaining. That was very entertaining.
I've still got to do a couple. It's just that I think I did 3 or something, and I was just overeating processed food for 3 days, and I'm not a very big junk foodie eater to start with. So if I thought to my, I've got notes written down, notes galore of what I would like to do and that. And I thought that I could probably focus on a new burger that hits Australia because what you guys have compared to what we have is just you've just got 10 times more selection and variety of fast food. So I thought I could do that. And then when I was thinking I'm going to have to go and buy some stock to do this video, I thought I don't even want to eat KFC. Yuck. I prefer to eat this gorgeous piece of reef fish and
Sure.
make a salad from my salad bowl. So yeah, that was sort of short lived. I should probably continue that because I enjoy videos like that. It's just very much out of my comfort zone, I suppose, because I'm not a big fast food eater.
It was very charming. It really was. It was very charming because it's always interesting to see how, like our food is that was the first time I've ever seen anybody eat of an American fast food in a different country. I mean, I see them out there. I mean, in England they have them all over the place, in
Yeah.
Japan and whatnot. But I've never seen anybody say, we're having a Kentucky Fried Chicken here in a different country. And I was really curious to see what it was like.
Oh, well,
Was
that's
it
good
was it
feedback.
different? Was it
Yeah.
different from ours? Was it
Yeah. Oh, that's good then. That's good feedback. Maybe I should do that. Just have like a special on that. So, Patrick, are you aware of the latest content that I've been uploading to YouTube. I'm just going to grab a cushion, mate. My bottom's gone numb.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us as we get to know the very sassy and very spunky Fluff and stuff. So this has been a hell of a show. I'm really glad you're here.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Now
Let's talk about your contest real quick.
So my campfire stories, mate. Have you seen the new content?
I watched, but I didn't know it was a contest. I watched it because it was I liked the intro. I thought that was gonna be your intro, the Australian flag. I thought that was gonna be your new intro to all your videos, which I thought was really cool.
No, I'm doing a campfire series where I sit around the campfire and I talk about old Aussie legends, campfire legends.
Do you have a lot of campfire? I was going to say, how many legends does Australia have?
Well, let's just say I've done 13 and I'm starting to run out of Aussie legends and I'm thinking about making a couple up of my own.
Yes. I think that would be cool. I think that would be
very heavily Aboriginal based, so you cannot really do a lot without there being a lot of Aboriginal history because of our natives, our Aboriginal people. So we get a lot of yarns. So we'll call it a yarn over telling a story. A lot of people in the States aren't aware of the term yarn. So it's spelled YARN. And that's to have a chin wag or to have a conversation. Now, as a little girl, another way of communicating would be sitting around a campfire, and it was nothing for us to have growing up out on the country and that, you do burn off a lot of things. So you'd have a stockpile of rubbish that you'd have to burn maybe. So it'd go over on the campfire, or a tree had fallen down or something. So, like we'd burn it or whatever. And I remember as a child just sitting around roasting marshmallows on a stick and just hearing about, like the ghost stories or a yarn or a legend that's been told. And there's nothing better. That's great bonding. And I feel like we don't do it a lot these days.
Yeah.
We don't socialise like we used to. So I wanted to bring back the good Aussie campfire yarn. I did. So I just gathered up some information on some urban legends that Australia has, but it was a lot of our urban legends, like the Yowie and like the Maori Man and like the Mim Mim Lights. They're very First Nation heavy. So they'll come from the Dreamtime. That is how our Aboriginal family up here in Australia describe the olden days, and they call it the Dreamtime. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I respect the first First Nations people of Australia, because they live pretty much how I live, off the land. And I respect that. They would, if I was to pull up on a deserted island, Patrick, the first thing that I would want to do is just try to build a shelter or something, so I could have some sort of home or some sort of base. Then from there, I would go gathering and hunting to see if I could find some oysters on the shells, on the rocks, or see if I could catch a fish to see what wild fruit are growing on this, and gather and just, so I have a lot of ties and a lot of connection to Australia's First Nations people and how they live off the land. A lot of respect for it, and they were great ones for telling stories. They would sit around a campfire and they would dance and they would sing and tell stories, and it's just, my grandfather was the best for it. It's just beautiful.
I love that you have the respect for your history. I do. I respect that so much, and I do love that. We're losing that here.
We're losing it here too, Patrick. Like that. You go and get a pull a 16-year-old kid off the street, and ask him about like ask him about the famous Yowie outback, and he won't, the famous Yowie of outback Australia. He won't have a clue what you're talking about. But you ask him about Kim Kardashian or Kanye West or Tiger or whatever, he'd be able to tell you all their best sellers and best whatever. You know what I mean? Like pop culture. Yeah. I don't know. Take me back to the olden days. Take me back to the olden days any day. Any day. I'm bringing the olden days back through my campfire stories, mate.
Mm. Yeah, I love it. Did you make a playlist of that? If you made a
Oh,
playlist of that, I'll push it and watch it.
yeah.
And if you do need to make up a campfire story, feel free to include a cheetah in one. I'm okay with that. I think people should know about the ghost cheetah of Australia.
Mate, I would, but they'd pull me to pieces because we don't even have cheetahs here in Australia.
Well, you know somebody who owns a cheetah. You could just take that cheetah.
Oh, you could be the villain who brought the cheetah over to Australia and wiped out all our native animals. How's that? I could make up a native animal, something that was gorgeous and beautiful, but the cheetah came over and ate it.
Somebody named Richie J Adventures is sitting there going like he's using a playing with a funny text to speech called fake. You can make a famous person say something funny, but it only works 10 seconds or less. So I guess they could replace a word with a funny word. That would be interesting, I guess. Uh, uh, I tell you what, it is getting to be 1:45. I'm going to go ahead and think about saying goodbye to you for now. This won't be the first time. This won't be the last time you come up. That's for sure. We
I
would
thought
definitely
you were
want to
going
have.
to say,
We definitely got
yeah.
to have you come back. I really did enjoy this. This is a lot of fun. I mean, anybody who's met you has to have nothing but respect for you for what you do and how you live your life. I mean, you're a very kind and gracious person. You definitely love fun, and you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. And that's really, that's I think it's really special. I really do. And of course, you're always super positive too. I mean, I know everybody doesn't have every day to be positive, but you managed to do that. You managed to make every day, when you're on the tube, you always make every time we see you, you're always in a really good mood. And I enjoy talking to you, and I wish I would have done this a little bit sooner, but I'm glad we did it. And I definitely will have you come back for sure if you want to.
Thanks, Patrick. Thank you so much for the beautiful, kind words, mate. Few years ago, here we go. A few years ago, I made a pact with myself that I'm going to make everything around me beautiful and call that my life. Look what
Mm,
I've done. I've got you in my life. I've got beautiful people, friends that I don't even know that I class as best friends on YouTube. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I do have a lot of beautiful friends on the YouTube streets, and I'm super happy and excited that I've got you in my life as well. And what you said about me, straight back at you, mate.
thank
Straight
you.
back.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and it means a lot coming from you. I really do appreciate it. And of course, if anybody that in here in America that ever wants to head on down to Australia, I mean, I'm sure that I know that Dan and Fluff would definitely take them out fishing.
Have
Um,
to. You can't
but
come to Australia.
I would recommend one thing though. If they did go down there and they did go with you guys fishing, I would
Mm.
highly recommend them not catching a barramundi before you, not unless you're a strong swimmer. Uh,
Good.
either that, or you just pass the pole on pass your pole to Fluff and let her bring it in. But I can't wait for that to happen. I can't wait for you to actually sit there and post that video. You
Same here.
finally catch one. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
Same.
happen. If not, well, just go catch a salty.
Too
Uh,
easy, mate. Too easy. And for everyone in the chat, remember, you can't come to Australia without coming up and seeing the Whitsundays, the start of the Great Barrier Reef. Come on, mates.
Oh yeah, the Whitsundays. That's a I after he kept coming in saying hello for the Whitsundays, I thought it was just like one island, and so I went to look at it and I'm like, oh, there's a hell of a lot more islands on there, and they're beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, not everyone's occupied. I mean, I think there's like out of the 60 islands, I think 20 are occupied.
Yeah.
But they're beautiful. They're
Yeah.
beautiful. Every island is beautiful.
My whole area is beautiful. It is just absolutely beautiful. As I said, it's a way of life. It's a way of life up here. Very relaxed, very kick back, very country, but very fishing as well. So excellent. Thank you so much, Patrick. I had a lot of fun. I hope I didn't come across as some dumb
No,
Aussie.
not at all. Not at all. After you actually came across as extremely sharp and very aware. And like I said, I wish there was more of my people here in America. I wish they were as aware, because
True.
half our country is not.
Yeah, yeah. So is mine, though, Patrick. So is mine.
Hmm.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yep. Thank you. Have a great day. Everybody else, thank you for coming up. Tomorrow night, we will be here tomorrow with two ladies, a trio of powerful women this week on 8 Questions With. Tomorrow, we'll be talking to actress and book writer, author, published author. She's a music producer. She's been a model. She's been a lot of things to a lot of people. And her name's Max Wassa. And she will be here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So early start time. And then at 9 p.m., right after I'm turning around, I got 2 back to back. At 9 p.m. tomorrow, it's my first guest from New Zealand. It's going to be actress and puppeteer and filmmaker Tristan Risk will be here at 9 p.m. I can't wait to meet Tristan so much. She's just been she's so cool. She's making a film too called Cat Lover. So instantly you already know that we got you knew I had to have her on the show. But everybody else, hopefully you guys will all come up for that. And then if not, then I will see you at 10, maybe about 10:30. I'll be on the midnight hour in the chat hanging out with Hobbs. Have a great day, and we'll talk to everybody soon. You want to stay right there for 1 second?
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Peace, everybody.